All right, guys. Welcome to the Championship Sunday recap. The AFC Championship has happened. The NFC Championship has happened. My Georgia Bulldogs, Stafford and Michelle, going to the Super Bowl. Happy for them and Leonard Floyd. But I'm with a sad 49ers fan, Lenny
I have
himself.
a lot of mixed emotions right now.
Just take me through the game, how you felt, all of it.
I don't think number one, I don't think Kyle Shanahan sold. I know like you guys were joking about it in the Discord,
I
but
think just come on. You have had multiple double-digit leads in these big games. I don't care. At a certain point, you have to be criticized. I don't care. At a certain point, you got to be criticized. He is the head coach of the team. I thought he was outcoached by McVay in the fourth quarter. I thought he got conservative. I thought the game plan, there weren't easy throws for Garoppolo. I thought it was a bad game plan from Shanahan. I don't think he should be blameless here.
I'm not blaming him as in like I'm not putting all of the blame on him.
I know, but you're excusing the blame from him.
I'm excusing the blame because of everything he's done to get me here.
No, he's had a great year, but I'm talking about in this game, he deserves some of the blame.
Sure. Yeah, I would agree, but it's just like I talked about this, right? You saw it with Andy Reid, like literally today. You saw it with Andy Reid.
Andy Reid had a bad game.
When your quarterback plays good, your play calling looks like 10 times better. Like it just does. And Jimmy Garoppolo, like to put it simply, played like shit. He played one of the worst games I think I've ever seen from a quarterback from my team. I think I've never seen a quarterback consistently just not show up when it matters. Even in this postseason run, it was okay. I love Jimmy Garoppolo for what he's done for this team. Obviously, took us to a Super Bowl.
They're on to Lance.
He almost took us to a Super Bowl. He's won a lot with us. I'm happy that he was our quarterback for a handful of games, but this was his last game as a 49er. I think it's pretty obvious to basically,
and it should have been too.
He's not coming back. I'm glad in a sense because if Jimmy Garoppolo were to win this game, right? And let's just say he makes the Super Bowl really close and the Niners re-sign him for like an extra year or they keep him for an extra year. That's just an extra wasted year, I think. I think that would have just been another wasted year where we just don't make the Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
You're going to keep – I'm
glad in the sense that the Niners lost to the Super Bowl representative as well. It's not like the most terrible way to go out. Obviously,
you can say you lost to the best team in the conference by 3.
You could also say that Jaquiski Tart, if he brings in that one interception, we're talking about this game like Shanahan is going to the Super Bowl. I can't believe he did that. I can't believe this team is going to the Super Bowl, right? I said before this game that the Niners were going to win if Jimmy Garoppolo showed up today, and we saw it. He didn't show up. I thought on defense, I really loved what we did on defense. D'Amico Ryans, the blitz packages he was putting up.
I thought the defense played really well.
I mean, I thought it was a masterclass. McVay looked lost at times. On the screen passes, it was looking like Stafford didn't know what the coverages were. I was blown away by D'Amico Ryans in this game. I thought he put on a masterclass. Fred Warner, man. That guy's a baller.
Those linebackers are so fast.
Like, everybody in this game showed up to hit somebody, and that's just what I love. This is what the Niners used to be with Ronnie Lott and Bill Romanowski, all these tough guys, Charles Haley. This is the Niner football that I love on defense. Just hit people, you know what I mean?
And then Patrick Willis later.
Patrick Willis, freaking Alden Smith.
Navarro Bowman.
Justin Smith. I mean, Dante Whitner. He was awesome. Right. I think we just lost to the team with the better quarterback, if I'm being honest. The better team and the team with the better quarterback won this game. I thought Shanahan called a good game for the majority of the game. I wasn't hating all of his play calls. I liked a lot of his play calls. But in the fourth quarter, here's the thing. When you get mad at Shanahan for calling these plays, it's because it doesn't make it easy on Jimmy Garoppolo. because the way I think about it now is what I used to think is, well, Adoy, he's gonna lose the game if you make him do difficult decisions, right? But the way I'm thinking about it now is that I don't know if we even have a chance to go downfield if we don't let Jimmy Garoppolo try to make these difficult throws. I thought that Niners offensive line just folded in the last quarter.
I thought Williams had a bad game for the first time all year.
Williams, I love him. He's probably my favorite player to watch in the Niners. Like, no joke. I love watching.
More than Debo?
Debo is number 2 if Trent Williams is number 1. But yeah, you saw he was injured. You could just tell.
Yeah, he was.
He was playing injured. I'm glad he played to an extent because I don't know if we have anyone better than him anyway, even injured in the backup role. But I thought overall we didn't out physical them on offense. It just felt like we couldn't get anything going on the ground game. I thought at some points the Niners play calling was predictable, though. I do agree that he didn't have an amazing game play calling, but it's just hard for me to put all the blame on the play caller when the quarterback just plays so fucking bad. He played so bad. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say. Like,
was part of that the play calling, though?
It's hard to play call for anybody if your quarterback stinks, bro. I mean, George Kittle on the third play on third down, he was wide open.
That was a terrible play.
That was going to go to the end zone. Shanahan did a perfect play call. He saw the freaking cover one, and he just saw how the box was closed, and George Kittle with the post was right there. And he missed him with a clean pocket. Like, if you're Shanahan, what are you supposed to do?
Look, I think when you look
at the game wasn't working. The screen game was shaky. Deebo Samuel was injured. Trent Williams was injured. I mean, I can't blame him. I think
George Kittle got outside of that one play, he got mostly locked in the game.
He was using a lot of pass blocking downs. Yeah. I'm glad they did.
I thought the Rams did a really good job against the run. Y'all only ran for 2.5 yards per carry. That's one of the things I think it's kind of why the Niners offense has been so underwhelming these playoffs is the run game has not been what it was in the regular season.
I think the Cowboys game was solid. It was a pretty good game. And then outside of that, it's been not good.
And you see the Cowboys game was their best offensive game.
See, you know, I'm going to stop after this. I'll stop beating the dead horse here about what I think about Shanahan now. But, that's another thing to add on to the pile at the end of the game, right? We have 6 minutes left, one timeout, and we don't have a run game at all, right? I mean, like, nothing's happening. There was that one run with Debo, and that was it. That felt like the only big play on the run.
And I'll say this, Lenny. I thought for what was supposedly a 65-35 Niners crowd, the Rams crowd in that fourth quarter was affecting you. You had a delay of game in there. It was affecting y'all.
It was. You could just tell the demeanor.
Shout out to the Rams fans for showing out.
Yeah. I thought there was going to be way more Niners fans. But yeah, credit to the Niners, though, because there were still a lot of Niners fans. It felt like a Super Bowl crowd where there was half and half, if you know what I mean. I think that's also helped the Rams in general because they've played in a lot of these games where they haven't had home field advantage, like the typical home field advantage, if you know what I mean. And you could see that they've practiced the silent count. You know what I mean? It looked like they weren't even having a problem with the silent count at times. It felt like that was just, they've done it a million times, you know. With the Niners, it was obviously something they haven't seen in a long time. You know what I mean? It was something like a shock. It was
real quickly.
Again, you can't blame Shanahan for not getting his players ready for a big crowd, but
they were ready.
I think that's like a little bit nitpicky, but
right now, Lenny, real quickly, the Rams are -4 against the Bengals.
Oh, really? That's opening line?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's kind of.
I think it's going to be a really fun game. We'll get to it later, but I think we have potential for it to be very high scoring.
Final thoughts. Defense played amazing. D'Amico Ryan's absolute stud. I hope he gets a job somewhere. I thought Robert Saleh was good. This guy's a freaking stud. This guy's amazing. But the Niners defense showed up for sure. Matthew Stafford was on the floor like almost every play, right? He was injured.
He's under pressure.
He was just harassed in that game. And bottom line, We need a quarterback who has to play better than that in the NFC Championship game. I don't know any team who can win an NFC Championship game unless we're playing like the Packers in 2019. I mean, right? Like,
Or
I
2021.
don't know if any team would have been able to beat the Rams that day with how bad Jimmy Garoppolo played. That was just god awful. I have a bad taste in my mouth for Jimmy Garoppolo specifically.
Look, I don't think, and I'll get into my thoughts. I don't think it was as bad for Shanahan as the Super Bowl 51 or Super Bowl 54
No, it
was.
was not as
Because
bad.
that's just inexcusable. I don't think this was completely inexcusable because, first of all, like the fact that the Niners were even in, and I know they were fifth in preseason odds,
Exactly.
but if I do nothing else but reverse, the Lewis fumble or the blocked kick, either of the blocked punt or the blocked field goal last week, you're not even playing. So you got to give the Niners credit for actually being in this situation. You got to give both teams credit because the Rams also survived a Tom Brady comeback.
Hey,
But
Barry McCockner just tweeted, currently reporting every single person who is saying mean things about Jimmy Garoppolo to the police. Yeah, keep going.
All right. I think I still don't think it was his best called game. I thought he called a much better game last week, but Jimmy Garoppolo was terrible.
He was awful. He was just awful.
Have you watched every single Niners game this year?
Yes. I actually like one. I might have not. I pieced out middle of the Jags game, but I think I'm fair to have done that.
Do you have confidence on a snap-to-snap basis on Jimmy Garoppolo?
It's more like I have a faith.
Does it not stress you out?
It's more like I have faith in Kyle Shanahan to get the best out of Jimmy Garoppolo when there's really not a lot there. So it's kind of like I have faith in the team more than I do. Like, I'm not like, oh, Jimmy Garoppolo's going to will us a win. Like, oh, I'm like, the team's going to win. I've never said in my life Jimmy Garoppolo is going to win this game. I even said on the game in the Packers and the Cowboys, get the ball out of Jimmy Garoppolo's hand. He's going to lose us the game if we do it. And, we saw it here.
I think
2 shots to get to the end zone and he fucking
look, I was hoping for the Rams to win because they've got a couple Georgia players, and my girlfriend was born in Inglewood, so I have a little bit of bias towards the Rams. But you know what? I mean, Matt Stafford, I've been hard on the guy in the past, but yeah, you can't be, man. You can't be. He's proven me wrong this season. He got to the Super Bowl. He proved he could win not only one, but won multiple playoff games.
3.
I thought, it wasn't his best game today, but he made enough plays.
Tough environment to play in, though.
He made enough plays. I thought, some of the throws he made to Kupp were excellent. I think Cooper Kupp is so good. He is so good.
Him and Debo, man. I mean,
and the Odell signing too. 9 catches for 113 yards. A couple big plays on crucial downs.
You think it was the problem in Cleveland?
Yeah, Lenny. It's so weird how once a player leaves this Baker Mayfield guy, they all of a sudden look closer to their old selves.
I don't know, man. I still think OBJ was the problem down there.
Yeah, totally. That's totally explains Baker Mayfield's accuracy issues, right?
Jeff Garcia in shambles right now.
The Rams couldn't. Neither team ran the ball at all. Like I think both run defenses showed how when they're playing to their peak end, how good they truly are. I thought they lost Higbee early on. That Blandon guy at tight end, he made some pretty nice plays. I thought he was giving y'all some issues. The offensive line for the Rams, I thought, really struggled at times, but I thought towards the end of the game, they started to wear the Niners out a bit, and I think they improved. And I do think they are a legit good offensive line. I just think the Niners pass rush is excellent. And defensively, Von Miller, Leonard Floyd, and Aaron Donald, and that Greg Gaines guy too. They were just in Garoppolo's face all night. They were in the back's face all night. You saw Mitchell didn't do anything. He did nothing in this game. I said I had as a best bet for Eli Mitchell. I know Mitch had it. I had it somewhere with Mitch. I had Eli Mitchell under 76.5 receiving yards, and he hit approximately. Do you know how many yards he hit?
I'm assuming like 10.
20.
Jeez.
He hit 20.
Jeez. How many carries did he have? Like 15?
He had 11 carries for 20 yards. So just under 2 yards a carry.
Oh my Lord.
The secondary, a couple bad plays, man, but I thought they did enough. I thought that Scott kid who hit on Samuel was huge, but I thought they held up enough when they needed to. I thought the Rams, they just played a normal Rams kind of game. I thought their offense was a little bit stagnant. You gotta remember too, like that early interception from Stafford. I don't think that was really his fault. I think K'Von Williams made a great play to deflect that up into the air, and Jimmy Ward picked it off. If the Rams scored there, we're potentially talking about a different game in terms of the margin of victory.
Yeah, they were talking about that. They had 10 points. They left them on the board.
They also missed a field goal
too.
But that was a tough kick. I mean, 54 yards.
Yeah.
You can't expect your kicker to make that easily. For the Niners, again, Jimmy Garoppolo was terrible in this game. He was awful.
He was awful.
I wouldn't have even been mad if they went to Trey Lance at a certain point.
I think it would have been extremely stupid to start Trey Lance in this game.
Not start, but like once things were getting out of hand. If things started to get out of hand.
No, I'm not doing that. You know why?
You don't want to wreck his
if
confidence.
You put your rookie quarterback in most hostile environment like he'll ever play in, possibly, and with the pass rush the way it was, and just such a big moment, that if he messes that up, you know how much that would mess up his confidence? Like, put Nate Sudfeld in if you're going to put anybody in, bro. Like, the third string. Like, do not put the Trey Lance in. I mean, if you were going to put Trey Lance in, put it when Jimmy Garoppolo hurt his thumb. If you were going to do it, put it in that.
Niners fans are ranking Shanahan's worst fourth quarters. So they said number 1 was Super Bowl 54, number 2 was Super Bowl 51, and number 3 was this game.
I don't think this was like egregious. I don't like look.
It wasn't as bad as the other two.
This wasn't like, oh my God, I can't believe Shanahan blew this game. This is another thing.
At a certain point, I just think the Rams ended up being the better team.
Yeah, I talked about this on the podcast on Saturday. I think the Rams were just going to win because they're the better team. They have the better quarterback. They arguably have the better coach.
Even coaching.
I think their rosters are about the same when you look at them without the quarterback and the coach. But when you look at the Rams with the quarterback and the coach, I think that just puts them a tier above the Niners, if we're being honest here. I just
Durcan asked if he had better memes than you, and I gotta say no to that. Lenny's the best meme creator in the BLV.
I have been very enshrined in meme culture for a long time.
That Deebo Samuel guy he might be the best receiver in the league.
Deebo is
completeness.
I am just so glad that he's on my team. I am infinitely grateful because it's the reason that he's used in the multitude of ways like that he is, right? Obviously, he's a good receiver. You see that he's good at running routes. Like, he's a good receiver. And he's just such a talented athlete that you can put him anywhere and he'll get positive yardage. Put him anywhere on the field, just get him the ball somehow, and he will get you a first down. And he just fights so hard. He plays so hard. You can tell how much he's worked for this. He's such a good dude off the field. I mean, I love him. I'm so glad.
Your offensive line kind of got pushed around. I'm going to be honest.
What I think is really interesting is we talk about how these playmakers, if they don't play, they're going to lose the game, right? Like, let's say Joe Burrow wasn't playing for the Bengals. They lose, right? Like 100%.
Jamar Chase, same thing.
Jamar Chase wasn't playing, they lose. If Deebo Samuel wasn't playing in this game, they lose. If George Kittle wasn't playing in this game. But Trent Williams really wasn't the player that I think that was a big part of
I think he's been injured in these playoffs because he has not looked like himself in these playoffs so far.
And the Packers game, he did look good, I think. But the Cowboys game, he got pushed around a little bit by Micah. But anyway,
even the Packers game, man, like, I don't know.
I love I got it stuck in my head, the wing play where he just came around.
The wing play was awesome, but as a pure like blocker, I don't know.
Yeah,
but I don't think it's because he's like a choker or anything. I just think
he's been injured for forever. Yeah, it's the injuries just caught up with him. I mean,
and he's an older player, so injuries are going to affect him a bit more.
Yeah.
Defensively, I thought the Niners' defense was awesome. I thought the front played well. I thought, the linebackers were good. Corner play, I mean, they did about as well as I would expect against Kupp and Odell.
I don't know
They
who
did.
would have done better, honestly.
K'Wan Williams did make a great play to deflect that interception up in the air. That was a great play like early in the game. Really a big momentum changer. But what I thought was a big play was after that interception, the Rams stopped them. They didn't get any points off of that. That was really
I was
really a
just
good
thinking about
play.
this. This actually might be a good thing for the Niners long term, because if we went to the Super Bowl and we lost, right, again, then we'd have to be like, okay, do we really want to keep Jimmy now? Like, do we really want to keep him?
Now the
Now
question:
it's like we can.
you lost
We're
and
done.
Jimmy
We're
was
done.
bad.
It's over. Trey Lance will start next year.
Here.
Like, at least we have that. Like, at bottom line, we know Trey Lance is starting next year. There's almost zero possibility that we are going to pick him up again. I think the Steelers are going to pick him up. Honestly, I think he's a good fit for the offense that they have. They already have. I think he plays about the same as Ben Roethlisberger, to be honest. They play the same kind of game. I think that's probably where he goes for like a second round pick or something. But yeah, good season for the Niners. We almost beat the Super Bowl representative. We only lost by 3 points. We just weren't good enough. Where I'm just grateful to be in this situation where I get to watch my team in the NFC Championship game for 2 of the last 3 years. So, you want to go to the Bengals
Hey
game?
man, I've been there before. After 2012, I was heartbroken. But
this one right here,
you win. I mean, but if I don't know if we had gone through the heartbreak within 2012, we absolutely dominated the Green Bay Packers in 16. So, it's sometimes you win a couple, you lose a couple. But Mitch has lived for the last 20 years. Nobody's ever going to live that again. Like Mitch is the best years of Mitch. The Patriots are never going to be that dominant again.
I don't think any team's ever going to be that dominant.
No team's going to be that, and especially with the Chiefs loss, like the dynasty talk's done.
Yeah, I think I don't know with the Chiefs. Well, you want to just transition to that?
We'll get to that. I do want to give congratulations to Sean McVay.
Oh, all right.
That challenge call was really dumb.
Those were all stupid. He
was a
wasted all
stupid call.
Those were all stupid.
But he put his offense in positions in the end of the day to succeed. He called a pretty decent game outside of those challenges. And he is in his second Super Bowl in 4 years. And all the talk about, McVay can't beat Shanahan, that's done now. Because he beat him in the game that mattered most.
He beat Jimmy Garoppolo. Let's be honest here. He beat Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, but you can say Shanahan beat Jared Goff.
So that's true. He also beat Stafford 2-1 this year against the Rams.
Yeah. But I think just like Saints fans last year, he would have traded, wins.
How do you think Raheem Morris did in this game? I think he had a good
game. I thought he called a good game. I thought they did well with their blitz packages at times. I thought they did overall. They were able to scheme up some pressure along with relying on just the talent. And I thought the secondary, there weren't a ton of penalties for either team really in this game.
Ramsey had that one PI, I think.
Yeah. And honestly, that was a bit of a questionable call too.
Yeah, that looked pretty clean to me.
So the Rams only had 2 penalties for 10 yards, which is just McVay and Morris were clearly well coached.
The Niners should have got more.
Niners had 6 penalties for 54 yards.
We should have had more roughing the passer calls on for Stafford because we were burying him, bro.
I'm happy for McVay. I like the guy. I think going forward the next 5 years, given like the age of Belichick and Reed, I don't know if I'd take a head coach for my franchise over McVay. And he seems like a cool guy. I know Lenny would tell you he's got a very hot girlfriend, but
are they married or are they girlfriends?
I think they're married now, but yeah, I'm happy for the Rams. I do hope they win the Super Bowl because I like the Rams. They're a good story. The Rams, I like how their fans came out today. Just overall happy for them.
I think there's just for storylines, this is one of the biggest storyline Super Bowls in a long time. If you want to just talk about that real quick, or you want to get it later?
Yeah, you want to get into that?
Okay, yeah. So for the Super Bowl, you look at Joe Burrow. Who knows if Joe Burrow will even get to this point again? Because we don't know. Truth is, we just don't know. Dan Marino got it like in his 4th year, and he never won again. Drew Brees got it early, you never get it again. Aaron Rodgers did it early, you never did it again. We don't know. It could be his last Super Bowl. We really just don't. Besides the point, there's a lot of young players on that team who have never even been to a conference game before, and it's going to decide a lot of people's legacies. Joe Mixon, Tyler Boyd, Jamar Chase. all these players, they have so many players that have just never been in this situation. And a lot of them, like if at the end of the day, Jesse Bates, even if by the end of the day we're talking about they won that Super Bowl with Joe Burrow, then a lot of these players are going to get their punch their ticket into the Hall of Fame based on this game. And you look at the same thing with the Rams side. You look at Stafford. If he puts together another couple, 3 or 4 years at this, and he's going to go to the Hall of Fame most likely. You look at OBJ. If OBJ wins this ring and he goes off to another team or he stays with the Rams and is just as good as he was this year, who knows what he does in Hall of Fame talk. And Von Miller adding a second Super Bowl ring onto him would be crazy. Aaron Donald, the one thing that Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald haven't done yet, they haven't won a Super Bowl yet. Well, put a ring onto that. I mean, they're guaranteed Hall of Famers already, but I mean, that would just be another cherry on top. Eric Weddle would get a Super Bowl ring out of this. There's just a bunch of players who haven't won a Super Bowl yet who have a chance to win it, and it's going to decide a lot of people's legacies next Sunday. So, or the two, oh, what? Oh, what happened to freaking Ultra, bro? Oh, man. That's tough. Well, okay, you're back. What happened?
My computer wasn't like, it was stuck.
Okay, I don't know if you heard anything I said, but I was just basically
I heard you like talking about how like players could book their tickets to the Hall of Fame, that kind of stuff.
That's all. Jesse Bates, Andrew Whitworth, OBJ could do that. Matthew Stafford, Eric Weddle would even get a Super Bowl ring out of this. There's a lot of players,
and even players like Aaron Donald's already in the Hall of Fame. He'll be first.
I talked about Aaron Donald and
but he could get into that like after LT, who's the greatest defensive player
Reggie
of all
White.
time.
People are going to start talking about him if he's better than Reggie White soon enough. I mean,
he's getting into that conversation.
It's close.
So yeah, happy for the Rams. Congrats to them. They're NFC champions again.
The Bengals lost to the Jets this year, bro.
Yeah.
How did that happen? The Jets beat
the funniest thing is the Packers beat both of these teams.
Do you remember when everyone was like, "Oh man, they were 5-3"? Everyone's like, "The Bengals are really good. They might be legit." And then they lost to the Jets, and we're like, "Oh, they're not legit. They're not going to."
Okay, so let's transition to this game. The Bengals and the Chiefs. I know, Lenny, you're not a Chiefs fan at all. You're not a Chiefs guy.
Oh, heck no. No.
Describe the amount of joy the Bengals brought you this morning.
Okay, so I had to get my my booster shot. So
nice.
30, I didn't watch the whole game. I listened to it on the radio. And
I'll tell you, it was 21-3.
So electric.
The game felt like it was over. It felt like it was over.
When they were down, what was it, like 18 points or something?
It was 21-3.
Yeah, 21-3. I really didn't think they were out of the game at all. I know I did.
I did.
You probably don't believe me.
I made that mistake.
You don't believe me. I don't know if anyone will believe me, but I was in the car and I'm like, I really don't think the Bengals are out of this game. Like, it's going to be tough, but they get the ball back at the half. They get Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase.
That stop at the end of the first half from Hill. Like,
that's what I knew. When they stopped him at 21-3, I was like, they got a shot. Like, I was
because that kind of stuff is the momentum plays.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, when you carry that momentum into the half and you get the ball back, that's just like, that could really end dangerously. And you saw it. Like, that's exactly what happened. They scored 0 points after the halftime. The Chiefs scored 0.
They scored 3.
Oh, actually, they scored a field goal. But still, field goal after 3 quarters.
0 touchdowns.
They had 3 quarters. They had a possession in overtime. I thought Patrick Mahomes, all season we were talking about, what was wrong with the Chiefs? What's wrong with the Chiefs? It's Mahomes being impatient. We know that now. In hindsight, we can see that Mahomes just wasn't playing his best football at that time. And they lost how they lost in the regular season because Mahomes just wasn't able to not just like play hero ball. And I think this season that's what I heard. That's what I heard on the radio. I heard them like throw it up a million times and just like mess up and drop a bunch of interceptions. I mean, that one screen pass where he like threw it at the floor and he didn't throw it at the floor. He tried to throw it like at
Mahomes wasn't good today. I mean, I'll be fair.
I thought that Mahomes just was like, man, you can't. It's like I feel like it was a tough game for Mahomes just in general. Like I don't know how
Burrow is the better quarterback.
Joe Burrow was a better quarterback today. It wasn't close, I don't think.
You got anything to
Joe
say?
Burrow got sacked a million times again. He was pressured. I mean, and he still
Mister,
made
I think Joe Burrow is kind of overrated, said Lenny a month ago.
Oh, bro, I feel like such an idiot after saying that, bro. I feel like such an idiot. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't watch a lot of Bengals games this
Here,
year.
Lenny, I'll just give you some advice. Try not to overthink it next time.
I won't overthink it next time. How much are we talking about Joe Burrow right now? As in like top 10 quarterbacks? Where are we saying
I think he's top. I think it goes Mahomes. I'd still put Mahomes at 1. I know he wasn't good in the second half.
I mean, that's fine. I don't.
Well, now that I'm not Brady,
I don't hate it.
let's assume Brady's retired. Because
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
75% chance he is. I'd go Mahomes 1. I'd go Allen 2. I'd go Rodgers 3, and I'd go Burrow at 4.
Who do you have 5? Like Herbert?
I think I'd go Herbert 5. I think I'd probably go Stafford 6. And then there's a couple other guys fighting out.
Derek Carr. No, I'm just kidding.
Derek Carr's like 11.
He's 10. He's 10 now.
I don't
care. He's 10 now.
This is why Lenny's the happiest that Brady's retired, is because now Derek Carr is a top 10 quarterback.
Derek Carr, it's always been like 1 or 2 players who have kept Derek Carr to top 10. Now he's top 10. So
who else would be in that? So I think Wilson would be around that range.
I think he's elite, possibly still. I think he's still
Lamar would be. I think you can't forget. I know Lamar had a rough end of the year, but he's still a very good quarterback.
He was injured for most of that stretch.
Kyler Murray, I think, is still top 10.
I think that's the majority. I think you named 10 guys. Anyway, the point is, Joe Burrow's a stud. I'm an idiot. Clown me all you want. I'm an idiot for thinking Joe Burrow wasn't anything other than elite and amazing.
Maybe Dak. Maybe Dak's the last guy.
No, Dak doesn't show up when he needs.
It's Dak or Carr for that last spot.
Carr's better than Dak. But anyway, tell me what you thought about the game. I thought Mahomes did an all-time choke job, and Andy Reid did a good job. That's what I thought. I thought Mahomes just didn't play good enough.
Mahomes is no Derek Carr.
No, he's no Derek Carr. Derek Carr wins that game by 10.
Joe Burrow just, oh my God, this guy is unbelievable.
Right? I know.
He did it again, Lenny.
No one thought he was winning this game.
I feel like such an idiot. So I predicted the Chiefs to win 35-30. So I thought it'd be a close game. But I feel bad for the Bengals, because I predicted the Raiders to beat the Bengals. Right?
Yeah, I did.
I said Titans Bengals was the lock of the divisional week. and then I was like, and I picked the Chiefs. I feel bad for your old Bengals fans. I'm happy for Bengals fans. I have a Joe Burrow jersey. I know it's an LSU jersey, but still, I like Joe Burrow.
You have a Joe Burrow jersey. That's the point.
I like Joe Burrow. I've known he would be good since college, and he's proven that.
I always thought he'd be good. I don't think anyone.
I thought Joe Mixon was awesome today. I know he didn't have statistically a great game, but he, at the end of the game, really closed out some of those runs. T. Higgins, I thought, was really good. I thought he was really good.
He missed that one touchdown, I remember.
And I thought the thing with Joe Burrow with his legs too. He was able to make some big plays with his legs. That really helped the Bengals. Jamar Chase, not his best game, but still made a couple plays, had a touchdown in there. Just a clutch player. And all those people, including us, they were saying, "Oh, they should have taken Sewell. How are they going to protect him?"
I laughed so hard.
We look like such idiots. And I think you got to give some credit, because we were on the Bengals offensive line all week for that disgraceful performance last week, which it still was disgraceful, but they played a lot better. They played a lot better today. They were disciplined. They protected Burrow well. They ran block well. They played a really good game, I thought. Not a great game, but by their standards, it was a great game. The defense, after looking like an abomination in the first half of the game, awesome. Awesome. One of the best performances for a half by a defense this season. And honestly, Lenny, this game was a lot like the first game these teams played. Not quite as explosive, but it was like that.
Same vibe.
Like, I'm gonna look back to that first game real quick. So it was 21-10 at the half, right? Between the Bengals and Chiefs. So the Chiefs scored 3 second half points against the Bengals. in the first
You
game.
can count 3 if you count the overtime.
They scored 6 total points in the second half against the Bengals in 2 games. So the Bengals have they've come out and they've been confused, but they've adjusted to the Chiefs. That's what's happened. And when it looked like, Bills couldn't adjust, and the Steelers couldn't adjust, the Chargers couldn't adjust, the Raiders couldn't adjust. All these teams were getting fooled by the Chiefs. Bengals didn't do it. Bengals were like, nope. I thought Mahomes in the second half was a complete disaster. He was doing this, throwing like some of the throws to Hill were just like, what are you doing, man? You're better than that. His receivers bailed him out a couple times.
Yeah.
I thought the Bengals, their coverage was really good. I remember Mahomes had a clean pocket. Nobody was getting to him. It was like those very in-depth breakdowns with Brady where he was like, oh, look at Brady, very under duress here, and there was like nobody close to him. It looked like that, except Mahomes couldn't find anybody, and the Bengals would finally get to him. He almost fumbled.
Oh yeah.
If the Bengals recovered that fumble at the end of the game would have been over. It wouldn't even go to overtime.
I don't think you can say that the Chiefs were like the better team that day. I think the Bengals just outplayed them.
The Bengals were the better team. The Bengals deserved to win the game.
They definitely deserved to win the game. I think the Bengals secondary, a big credit to them. I think they did a great job considering their matchups. I mean, I think they did a really good job. I don't know. What do you think? I didn't get to watch the whole thing, but it just sounded like I watched it enough to see that the Bengals.
I think there's some quite looking about how violent the narrative shifts. We'll get to that in a minute. But I thought the Bengals did a good job with. Hill and Kelsey are going to make their plays, but Hill didn't take over the game the way he did last week. Kelsey didn't make all those late plays like he did last week, and I think that's what the Bengals did. Is they did a much better job than the Bills did defensively, and that's why they won the game. Maybe their offense wasn't quite as good, but they did enough defensively to be able to survive that.
Defense wins championships.
I thought the Chiefs. I thought their run game was really good. I think the Chiefs' offensive line is awesome. I'm gonna be honest. I think it's one of the best in the league. So I got to give the Chiefs some credit for that. But the Bengals and Zach Taylor, everybody wanted this guy fired if he didn't. People were joking. Oh, if this guy doesn't win the AFC North, he should be fired.
I actually said on a YouTube comment in the preseason. I said specifically watch Zach Taylor be the next Kyle Shanahan, and after 2 years he found his guy and he's gonna just go on a tear this year. I gotta find it. It was on some random YouTuber because I don't just watch Mitch. But I did actually like Zach Taylor before all this. I don't think I liked him this much though. I think he's been really good. I think he's just been you have a quarterback like Joe Burrow. He's adjusted halfway through the year. He was a lot more run heavy before. I'd say I think that Chiefs game was when he started unleashing Joe Burrow.
The Ravens game, the second Ravens game.
He's just, it's just something to be said. You just let your quarterback be your quarterback, right? Jimmy Shanahan has to do all this stuff with Jimmy Garoppolo, and he has to make sure he doesn't lose the game. He has to put him in an old cradle, make sure he rocks him back and forth so he doesn't shit the bed. But Zach Taylor, quite simply, just does enough. He just lets him ball out. He puts him in good third down situations.
He doesn't prevent him. He isn't a Mike McCarthy.
Yeah, he doesn't lose the games. He just does enough to let his quarterback win the game, and that's all he can really ask.
I just saw a tweet saying that Shanahan McVay is going to end up being the new Harbaugh versus Carroll in the NFC West.
Whoa. I hope so. That was awesome, man. Just Aaron Donald on the sideline talking. He's like, we want to play these guys. We love the fight or whatever. I was like, oh man, this could be really good.
You're gonna have to deal with this team for a while.
Yeah.
But credit to Zach Taylor and Joe Burrow, man. Joe Burrow in 3 years is a game away from potentially winning a national championship and a Super Bowl.
Isn't that crazy?
The only other quarterbacks that have won a Natty and a Super Bowl, Joe Namath. Who's the other guy? Joe Montana.
Hey, Joe Cool. Wait.
Here's the thing, Lenny, too. Here's the thing, Lenny. All three of them have the name Joe. Namath, Montana.
Oh, you're right. No way.
So
That's
Namath was Joe Cool. He passed it to Montana, and now Montana's passing it to Burrow.
No, Joe Namath. That's so interesting because all
So
these
like once every
players,
30 years we get a Joe. That's just awesome.
all these players were like the most chill guys in these moments. Joe Namath went on like they were like minus 16 or something underdogs, and he's like, yeah, we're gonna win.
I guarantee we're gonna win.
Like in his freaking like his big what was it, his fur coat or whatever, and he's like, yeah, we're gonna win.
Oh man,
this is exactly if you're a Bengals fan.
All right, Lenny. The narrative they violently shift here.
The first overall pick,
a week ago, I was talking about the Chiefs and I'm like, oh, if they win the Super Bowl, Mitch, I think we've got a Patriots replacement here. So that would have been 3 straight Super Bowls, 2 wins. Would have been dynastic stuff. Now it's, oh my God, is this the 2014 NFC Championship game? Is Mahomes Aaron Rodgers 2.0? Is he never going to get back?
Well, he already did, I technically.
Or is he never going to, get back to winning? That's what I mean.
No, he'll be fine. I think he'll be
fine. But do you see how violently this just shifted?
Here, wait, I looked up this video. I have it right here. I'll read exactly what I said. Zach Taylor might be one of the most overhated coaches in the NFL. It's just a results thing. Kind of reminds me of 2018 Shanahan, how he was on the hot seat. I'm not to pat myself on the back here, but
Mitch is about to tear into Chiefs fans. He just tweeted about it.
Oh yeah, everyone commenting, "Oh, this guy's an idiot. He's such an idiot."
The Chiefs overrated video has aged the weirdest of any video I've ever seen.
Yeah, it went for a while. Oh my God, he's so right, and then he's so wrong.
No. For a while, it looked like he was completely accurate, and then it looked like he was completely idiotic, and then it's accurate again. See how violently the narrative shifts here.
If I'm the Chiefs right now, I'm like, we went to 4 AFC championships in a row in a year where we weren't even that good. So I'm not worried about it. What I'm worried about is Charvarius Ward and Tyrann Mathieu are free agents this year. That's what I'm worried about.
And Mahomes' cap hit goes from $7 million to $35 million.
I think there's a chance here that we see what we saw with the Seahawks when they had to leave the part pieces.
I think they'll win another one. I do.
I hope so. Just in terms of Mahomes.
No, you don't.
You know what? You're right. Screw those guys. But yeah, I hope Mahomes wins it on another team. How about that? I hope he wins it on not the AFC West team. Yeah, with the Bengals, the first overall pick. Is this not exactly what a first overall pick is supposed to be? In terms of terrible franchise
changer.
The worst. They were such a joke in 2019. They were such.
I've got to look at this. So Joe Burrow's won 3 playoff games with the Bengals, right?
Dude, they started Ryan Finley 2 years ago. Now they're in the Super Bowl.
The Bengals won 3 playoff games from 1988 to 2020. In 2021, they've won 3.
Oh, my Lord. Dude, first overall pick, dude. This is exactly what the Bengals wanted, bro. This is exactly – so
like saved them.
Like everyone's like, oh, this is a home run pick for the Bengals. Like, they're getting their franchise guy. He's going to be the game changer. He has completely changed the organization. He's completely changed the look of them. I mean, doesn't it feel like even the jerseys look cooler? It feels like
they changed the jerseys, I think, last year.
Yeah, I know they changed it last year, but I mean, you know what I mean, though. It just feels like they've complete 180.
We're already getting some early Super Bowl predictions. Look, I think Bengals-Rams is an awesome Super Bowl.
I agree. I do. There's so many narratives. There's 2 quarterbacks who haven't won it before.
If Joe Burrow wins the Super Bowl, this is going to go down as potentially the most impressive quarterback season of all time. And I'm not even kidding either.
No, I think you're totally right. Yeah, no, I can't.
Certainly, you know what it kind of reminds me of, Lenny? It kind of reminds me of, and this is when I was first a football fan, it reminds me of Rodgers' 2010 run. It does.
I wasn't there for that, so just expand on that.
So, the Packers were in 2010. They were thought of higher than the Bengals were, but they were an injured team. They were a 6 seed, and then they go to Philadelphia.
Playing the Super Bowl, bro. He got injured first quarter.
They go to Philadelphia. They win. They go to Atlanta, who's the 1 seed. They dominate us. They play the Bears in the NFC Championship game, and they
Others.
win with Caleb Haney for the Bears. And then they go to the Super Bowl, and they beat the Steelers, who are
That's when
punching
Jay
for.
Cutler almost made it, right?
Yeah, well, Jay Cutler got hurt. Caleb Haney came into the game.
Oh,
Caleb
yeah.
Haney, who
Everyone
I
made
don't think
fun of him because he didn't want to play through an injury, right?
they did beat. To be fair, they did beat Vic, Matt Ryan, and Big Ben. To be fair,
That is a, that's a.
but
Yeah.
the talk was, is this one of the greatest playoff runs ever from Rodgers? And it was. I think this Burrow one would top it. I think it would top it because what people forget is that Packers team had a very good defense. This Bengals defense is good. It's not top two in the
today.
league.
I think it showed up today. But yeah, I have to agree. Just general knowledge right now, I can't remember another Super Bowl team that was just like not this talented. This team isn't like that talented, right? I mean, they have.
Oh my God, Lenny! So I found 11 predictions. 7 of them are predicting the Bengals. 7.
7 out of 11, huh?
Yeah. Everyone's on the Burrow train now.
But yeah, like I was saying, like there isn't. I don't think there hasn't been a team like that's been this not talented in the Super Bowl, and everyone thinks they're gonna like win. I mean, like, isn't that crazy? Like,
it's insane. If you were shooting from the hip today, I would pick the Rams because I just think they're the better team. But
yeah, just better team.
I thought the Chiefs were the better team. I thought the Titans were the better team, and I thought the Raiders were a better matchup.
The Raiders.
So like. And honestly, this makes you look more positively because, like, y'all were one play away from going to overtime with the AFC champs.
Yes, I am definitely. That was another thing. Think about the Niners and Raiders seasons. We were one score away from being both Super Bowl representatives. So put some respect on the Raiders and the Niners, all right?
Well, now the Raiders would have gone to overtime.
Yeah, but if we got the coin flip, because Derek Carr don't miss on the coin flip, he's like 5-0 in overtime or something.
All right, so jeez, what else is there to talk about here?
We can talk about Josh McDaniels if you want me to. That's something that happened.
Let's go for it. All right, so we'll actually do both. We'll do Brian Daboll to the New York Giants.
Oh, that's right, Brian Daboll.
Josh McDaniels. So, what are your thoughts on Brian Daboll to the New York Giants?
I think if you are a Daniel Jones fan, this is the best quarterback whisperer you can get. He developed Josh Allen into just not a great quarterback, into someone who clearly just wasn't looked ready, just didn't look good. Like when he was first starting, to the best quarterback arguably in the NFL. I think there is an argument to make that Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the NFL.
No, I think there is.
Believe that? No, but the point is that he turned him into amazing quarterback. You look at Daniel Jones. You're not wowed by the same way you are Josh Allen, but you see where you can win. You can see where
he's not untalented.
Exactly. You can see where if you put him in the right direction and you put him on the right track, he could be good. And Brian Daboll is pretty good. I think he's a pretty good coach. I think this was
I also think I don't think the Giants' talent is like as bad as people want to say. Like,
I think the
Saquon is still like an actual. Like, I know Saquon is never going to be 2018 Saquon, but he's still like an actual starting running back.
Oh, for sure. He's like
they've got Kadarius Toney. They've got some nice receivers. They've got a decent Ingram's not bad at tight end.
The problem with the Giants is they don't have any elite players. Like
they've got a pretty decent interior defensive line, and their secondary is actually good. If what they need, I told Mitch this. I think they should trade for Wilson.
Oh, Russ. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think Wilson in like a Josh Allen kind of offense where they utilize his legs and they aren't just throwing the ball straight, they actually try and utilize some short stuff instead of just running streaks, because that's all they do in Seattle. Streaks and 4 verticals. That's what they do.
Yeah. That's game plan.
I think he would actually thrive in that system. I've always wanted to see Russell Wilson because I've always thought he's had the talent to be really good in like a Tom Brady system, but he's just never been in it. He's always had to throw the ball 4 verticals every play.
MVP,
and he somehow succeeded with that for 10 years. But
he's just so talented.
And their offensive line's still awful. But if they can, Wilson succeeded with that offensive line. So
what do you want to go to a bad offensive line again, though?
I don't know.
I don't know. That's for him to
I
decide.
think he would want to go to New York. I think Ciara would want to go to New York.
Sierra. Yeah, the family always has a big deciding factor in those things too. I think that's baseline pretty good. I mean, they got the GM too from the Bills. That's just an overall good organization. It's a winning organization now. It's a proven organization. And I think that as if they can get a couple players, like a couple like really elite players, even if that's just 2 or 1, I think they got a really good shot of being good next year. They have a solid roster. They just didn't have the quarterback this year. He's injured, and they didn't have the O-line this year. And the coaching was terrible. That's another thing. But hopefully that takes a step up. I think the Giants are on the right direction. I don't know how much better they're going to be next year, but I think they're going to be better for sure.
And then Josh McDaniels, I won't comment. I'll just
let you know. Josh McDaniels, Toss McDaniels.
I know you didn't want the Patriots guys,
no,
which annoyed Mitch.
No. Can you remind me how many Patriots head coaches are in the NFL still?
Yeah.
Besides Belichick, I mean,
Brian Daboll, I think, was a Patriot.
Brian Daboll doesn't count. Are you kidding me?
So, like actual proof. Does Brian Flores count?
No, he's not. He doesn't have a job.
Nobody in the AFC North. Nobody in the AFC. Mike Vrabel.
He doesn't count. He was a player.
I don't think
there isn't. The answer is there isn't any.
Joe Judge.
He's gone. He's done. He's out of here, bro. And point is these players, these coaches that have come from the Patriots that have looked good in this like really perfect system often come.
No, they're all gone, Lenny.
They often come to these systems.
O'Brien, Flores, Patricia, those guys are all gone.
Yeah. They often think they can come into the system and they can be like Belichick and be like, "Oh, I'm the big man on campus. I'm gonna make sure that you do this right and do this," and they're gonna yell and scream and bark, and then they have no credibility whatsoever because I mean they haven't done anything. You saw that with Matt Patricia. You saw that even with Brian Flores because the way he was so aggressive with ownership, like he was winning like Super Bowls or something. Like you saw it, like he was so aggressive with ownership, even though he hadn't done anything technically. But I mean, when I watch him, I don't see anything impressive. Like
Mac Jones, like they didn't try to do what Mac Jones was successful with at Alabama.
No, they didn't.
The RPO game was gone. They signed a bunch of they signed all these tight ends, but Mac Jones only threw to Smith and Waddle at Alabama. So what are you doing? It was just such a weird thing, and like they were babysitting him, and then when it was like, oh, we've got to pass. Oh no, Mac Jones is struggling in these situations. I don't know why. Maybe it's because we didn't pass.
I know, and they put the training wheels off when they had to play the Colts, the Bills, and then like the Jaguars, which obviously whatever, and then they had to play
the Dolphins, and then the Bills again. It's like it was four of the toughest games on your schedule. You're doing this. Make no sense.
Yeah. Also, I also thought that whenever I watch Josh McDaniels, I'm not like impressed. Like I'm like, wow, that was a really well executed. Like I really thought he should have did this, and he did it. And I'm like, yeah, okay, and, good play. Yes, everything downfield doesn't impress me. He doesn't do anything schematically impressive downfield. And Derek Carr, I don't know if you knew this, but had the most 20-yard downfield completion.
Oh yeah, Lenny. Wow. Lenny, how do you feel about the fact that Jackson Mahomes isn't gonna be, he's done?
I am very happy about that. I think everyone's happy about that. I don't think there's a single soul. I don't even think Chiefs fans are that mad about it. Honestly.
The only people that are mad, I think Mahomes is happy about it.
Let's go!
That's why Mahomes took one for the team. He took one for the team in the second half. He was like, "Oh no, I'm playing too well. I got to eliminate it so my brother isn't an idiot, and my wife isn't an idiot."
Oh no, he took that. It mattered.
No, I was fair play to Mahomes if that's actually what he did. Some of the throws you're making, you would never see Mahomes make. No, it's so weird.
You know that clip? It's like, fine, I'll do it myself. That was.
Fine, I'll do it myself.
But yeah,
Josh McDaniels. Mahomes is just Thanos.
Josh McDaniels, he Doesn't impress me. I'm not that impressed with what he's done in the past. He's had Brady, and the last 3 years he's had below average offenses that have looked a lot better because either the quarterback was good or the defense kept him in to get really there's a lot of possessions. So not psyched about it. But I think there's a chance this could be good. But I'm not happy, if you know what I mean.
All right, Lenny, is that where we're gonna end it? You want to give me some early thoughts on the game?
This is gonna be a shootout. I'm gonna say it like that. We talked about it last week with the Titans. Man, I don't know if Joe Burrow is going to be able to handle the pass rush. Well, he did a good enough job, I think. I mean, you look at this week, we're like, man, can he handle Chris Jones, Frank Clark, Melvin Ingram, and all these blitz packages? And yeah, I think he can handle that too. And now he's got to handle Aaron Donald.
This might be the toughest test.
This is the toughest task. This is Aaron Donald.
Even Max Crosby was going to be a test, but this is the toughest test.
It's interesting because they have Von Miller, the Super Bowl MVP. They have Aaron Donald, the most dominant defensive player since Reggie White and Lawrence Taylor. And you have Leonard Floyd, a great complimentary piece to have as your third freaking best guy on the D-line. I mean, Jalen Ramsey matches up Jamar Chase. That's going to be a fascinating matchup, I think.
I think Chase can win it.
I think he probably will, but we're going to have to watch. T. Higgins, I think that the Bengals are going to have to do a lot like they did in this game, target everyone else, and like they've done, like Uzuma, T. Higgins. Yeah, whatever. You know what I mean. With the Rams, I think that they match up fairly well. They don't have a great run defense. I think they're going to be able to run the ball okay. Set up Stafford in third and shorts and third and intermediate, which we've seen is what he's great at. And Stafford clearly wasn't healthy in this game by the end of the game, and he's going to have 2 weeks to heal up. So I'm assuming he's going to be 100% or close to it. So I think it's going to be a really close game. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really fun game. I think a big difference, and a lot of people underrate this, but Super Bowl week is it's important. It's important. Like the 2 weeks, how teams prepare for it. Because I remember my team was in this. I remember the Falcons and Patriots. The Falcons actually they were one of the best, like the first time appearing teams under coaches. They actually did a pretty good job of it, but you could tell New England knew everything about what to do, all that kind of stuff. McVay's done this before. Zach Taylor hasn't.
He didn't do a great job the first time, but that's besides the point.
But he still has that experience.
Yes,
Zach Taylor has that experience, and I think that's an underrated factor to it. You saw last year, Brady. They were both experienced. Brady had been there a bunch of times, and Mahomes was there last year. Reed was there last year. I think that's an underrated part to it. I think that the pass rush, obviously, and just I think it's going to be a fun game. I think if I were to pick now, I'd probably pick the Rams, but who knows, man? I think Joe Burrow's
picking anybody right now.
Joe Burrow's
proven
that he can win any game regardless. So,
how much? Just real quick, one last thing. How likely do you think it is for either of these quarterbacks to ever be in a Super Bowl ever again? If you were to just either one for Stafford and Burrow individually, what percentage would you get for either?
For Matt Stafford, 60%, probably like 60% for both. Because for Stafford, the Rams will be weaker next year, but so will the NFC without Brady. And for Burrow, I have more confidence in the Bengals going forward than I do with the Rams, even though the Rams have a better coach, just because the Bengals are a younger team. But I think the AFC is so competitive. Like, I think it's going to be hard for him to consistently get there. Yeah, because he's still got Kansas City, Buffalo, Chargers are coming up, Baltimore.
The Raiders are coming up with Josh McDaniels. Yeah. All right. I think that's a good place.
All right, Lenny. Thanks for joining me. I'm sorry for your loss, but
it's okay. Jimmy Garoppolo is going to leave.
You're due to make a Super Bowl in 2 years. Now, you're going to have to suffer a non-playoffs year next year.
This is going to be a long.
Isn't that kind of the trend here? NFC Championship, missed playoffs. NFC Championship.
We're going to go 8-8 next year and fire Shanahan for no reason. Watch.
And then hire Harbaugh.
Yeah, and we'll hire Harbaugh again. Start the cycle all over. Shanahan will go coach Michigan.
All right, Lenny. Thanks for joining.